Hey, good morning everyone. It's part 3 of the guitar building process here. And so this is the body that is clamped together. Here's what it looks like before we sand it. You can see all the glue and epoxy and everything. But before we run it through the sander to clean all that up, we gotta knock off any squeeze out here, because if we run it through the sander with this side down, it's gonna be lumpy. We don't want that to happen. So it's already about 2 p.m. and I got some stuff done, but partway through, like, 9 o'clock this morning, my thickness sander broke. So I'm in the process of repairing that. I got some JB weld and everything, so I'm waiting for that to dry before I can do anything else as far as that goes. So I had to build, well, first I'll show you what's wrong with the machine, and then I'll show you what I did in the meantime. All right, see if I can explain this without talking with my hands. It's difficult. So this part right here, this is like a piston. There's an actuator, and basically the actuator that connects to the piston, those threads are stripped. The connection was really, really weak. When the sandpaper leaves that slot, it sets the actuator to tell this part here to move like this to keep the sandpaper centered on that roller, right? Those threads are stripped. I have to fix that. JB welded the piston directly to the machine, and I'm clamping it with some bolts and washers. Tomorrow, when it's dry, I'll remove those bolts and washers, and then I can epoxy this actuator threading, wherever it is, right back into there. Hopefully, that will fix the problem. This machine is obsolete, so it's impossible for me to find replacement parts for this. That's the problem. This is a Sheng SDM 15 wide belt sander. So yeah, there you go. Grizzly makes one. It's their wide belt sander, their 15-inch wide belt sander. Has to have the open end so I can run those really big wide pieces through, because the machines that are this wide, you're looking at 15 grand. So that's what I worked on from about 9 a.m. until noon or so. And then in the meantime, here in the past 2 hours, I'm getting ready to route some truss rods here. Check out this flame maple peg head veneer for this 6-string asp. It's gonna have the black and green veneers. Basically, I just had to make a truss rod slot template, right, for the 6, 7, and 8-string designs. So that's the screw that I put in for the 6, 7, and 8s. Down here, it's different. I have to put the 6 and 7s over here and the 8s over here. Now I just got to route it with a 1/4-inch bit. I had to make this little fence thing to ride on the template. So that took a little while. Making tools and jigs to build tools and jigs to build guitars. Again, being a guitar maker is all about building the tools and not really building the guitars. That's what it seems like anyway. I didn't get a chance to unclamp this yet. This is gonna be a 6-string asp guitar, black limba body. All right, we'll just set that down for a minute. And I got the sprayer here for some denatured alcohol so we can take a closer look. Look at that. Whew. That's some crazy looking grain right there. I'm still filling those little voids and stuff with CA glue. This thing is way too thick. It's like 2 inches thick. It has to be, 1 7/8. So I have to take off like a 1/4 inch with that machine, and that's why this thing's at a standstill right now. So anyway, let's route that truss rod, and then we'll open that up and we can glue that together too. Hey, good morning everyone. I got the machine working, a little bit of epoxy and JB weld, fixed all that stuff that I showed in yesterday's video. It's running, and I went ahead and cut out the succubus, the walnut succubus here. So this thing, the reason I cut it out is so that I had less material to plane. This is ash and it's super dense wood, and I just wanted to remove as much of it as possible, because if I wouldn't remove this, we'd have to sand all this down if I didn't remove all that. So these are all scraps, but it's all usable scraps. Like I can make keychains or knife handles or anything out of this stuff. You can see the black, green, black veneer with the walnut and ash. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna continue bringing this down. We have another 1/16 of an inch or so on the thickness planer, and we'll be good to go to start routing cavities. Okay, we're at about 1 7/8. We can stop there. All right, I'm not exactly sure where I left off on the last time I was holding the camera. Here we have the ASP 6, serial number 12. We have it in clamps. We have it planed down the sides. You can see some of the nice figure in there, a nice curly maple all the way up. You can see the black limba body, the green and black veneers. I sanded the very end there so you can see it's very important to make sure that that green and black and everything lines up, because when I glue this together, if it's off a little bit, like I put a ruler under the one side just to demonstrate if I was to clamp them together and they weren't correct. So we'll get those together and you can see that they are perfectly aligned. The seam here, you can't see it, so that's what we're looking for. So this is ready to glue together. While that thing is in clamps and in glue, we can start routing the truss rod for this walnut neck. Now, one thing about this walnut neck, there's a big knot right there and it's all kind of weird grain and you got figure. I've never built a guitar with a neck that was so strange with all the grain and everything. Usually I like to pick a nice straight grain piece of wood, but this is a prototype. I just want to see if this is going to work, and if it does, then we got some really cool options for some necks in the future. This, we can route the neck, we can route the pickup, we can drill our holes, we can route our cavities in the back, output jack, we can do the bevel, the round over. We might even be able to get a fingerboard on this thing today. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so we're at the point where we are routing the truss rod slots. Now, originally, I spent most of the day making this template for routing truss rod slots. But just as I was finishing up the template, I was like, you know what? I got a better idea. And of course, I went ahead, and it's a far simpler idea, much easier to build. Basically, I just made a table router, or a router table. This board right here is the trick. It's temporary. Like right now, when I drill, 1 7/8 from the edge of the neck, I would use these holes to drill and line it up on this line. You can see here, I have a couple different markings, but eventually I'm gonna have one of these on little sliders that move back and forth. I can get one of those sliders at Rockler or something. But for now, this works great. I'm gonna put those slides on my list to pick up, and we can build it right into this, and then we can make our truss rods very simply. Fits perfectly down in there, right? And enough room for the Allen key to adjust it. And then we can cut our necks out, drill some holes, select some fingerboards. We have to slot our fingerboards. None of these are slotted. I've got some nice like zirconia and lots of ebony and some Paduke or something down there. I don't know. Yeah, awesome. All right, I just got to clean up a little bit. I have to make this hole quite a bit bigger because I'm going to be using this router table for doing my roundovers and a lot of other stuff, and I have bigger bits for that. I just made this. It's a little piece for my scrap wood. It's just a router bit holder, and I put a shelf up here for my router and all that stuff, just to keep everything kind of in one place since I'll be doing my routing right here. Next, I am going to, well, that ASP 6 is in glue right now, and I have one more neck right here from back in Pennsylvania. I had two necks. I had this one, and I had the one on the Manta 7 that I just built. This one here, I want to get it out of here, so we'll go ahead and build a guitar for it. Now we get to select what we want. So I'm thinking we can do a mahogany body. I think we'll do, this is a brand new design. I've never made this guitar. I just made the design and the template, but I never actually built one before. So this has 8 string, but that's only this part right here. This can be changed for any neck pocket that we want. So let's see if this mahogany is wide enough for this. I think we'll go for it. Why not? Worst case scenario, we could make it a 3-piece body. This is going to be the first one I'm ever building. It is another prototype. I'm still getting the process, of building these things down. A perfect example of that is this router table. I'm just learning as I go, building the tools to build the guitars. And once I have all of the tools built and I'm starting to crank them out, no problem, at that point, they will no longer be prototypes. I also have some other designs that I need to work on. This one here, it's obviously not, you know, I do have the basic horn designs down for it, but they're not proportionate to the body, so I have to rebuild that one. I got a couple more back in here that I want to work on. All right, I got the body cut out, some mahogany. We're just gonna do black veneers on this one. And then over here at the bandsaw, I chose a black limba, a piece of black limba that we're gonna cut into some tops and a peg head veneer. And yeah, we'll go ahead and resaw that, open it up, and we'll see how psychedelic, or I think this one's actually gonna be a really cool piece. So let's resaw it and open it up and take a look at it. All right, so this took me way longer than I expected. I thought I'd have this much done by noon, but it's about 4:30 p.m. And also I decided to make this another guitar here to start another one, because when I'm, you know, overnight, I can have something gluing and then be able to process it the next day. There's always gonna be that clamping time. So tomorrow I can open that up and we can cut that one out, and we can be at the same place we are with the succubus, right? And then tomorrow I can have this in those clamps, tomorrow night clamping, and then the following day, this one will be right along with those other two. So I traced this out. I didn't look under it yet to see what it's gonna look like, but I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. So that's awesome. And then I also, while I resawed this top here, I made sure to get a 1/8 inch peg head veneer as well. So that'll be with this, the mahogany body. You know, I cut it, I processed it like I showed you guys yesterday on yesterday's video, or 2 days ago, whatever it was. But if you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2 of this series, definitely go check it out. That's all I got for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.